Everyone's favorite boss, Bloon, is back this week. Well, maybe it's not your favorite boss, but it's mine. Either way, looking at this event, it's on Frozen Over, with very little restrictions, just a druid ban and a max monkey limit of 35. But the thing that's going to make this interesting is looking at ranked mode, it is a least cash week, with the top scores right now being under 500,000, so we're going to aim for that as well. Let's hop right into it. Alrighty, I think we're just going to start this thing off with the classic free dart monkey start, and I'll save for my first banana farm after that. This is one of the rare boss events where they don't give you extra starting cash, which is kind of funny because I get used to the extra starting cash, so it feels a bit weird now and I can't start with a farm, you know what I'm saying? Either way, farm on round 3, and the overall plan off the start is going to be pretty simple. I just want to rush a monkey bank. So I'll build this farm into a 1-0-0 in a second. Now, and the nice part about this early game is I don't have to worry about the time penalty at all, like I do in a lot of other boss events, because the time penalty only comes into play if I tie someone on the leaderboard to the exact dollar amount, which is obviously very unlikely to happen. So by ignoring the time penalty, I'm actually going to be able to get by with a lot less defense in these early game rounds. Now, I do get this question all the time in my comments on my boss videos. What even is this time penalty? Well, basically, it's something that's added in boss events if you don't end the round fast enough. Like, if you let some of the balloons travel for a long time, the penalty adds up. And the goal of the time penalty primarily comes into play during timed events, not these least cash events, where if it was a timed event, I would have 36 seconds added to my final score by virtue of not defending these rounds quickly. By the way, round 9, the balloons actually get through. I was hoping that I could get valuable bananas before I get any more defense, which I still think I'm going to do. Come on, valuable bananas. There we go. Now it's time to get another defense down, and I think we'll add an engineer of all things. The reason why I'm adding an engineer, even though there's cheaper early game defenses like a submarine, for example, is because I want most of my early game towers to be from the support category. And that's due to the fact that one of the best upgrades in these least cash events, which we'll certainly be utilizing, is the Sun Temple from the Super Monkey. With that Sun Temple having $50,000 of support sacrifice, which is great for a couple of reasons. One, that's going to take care of all the farming I need for this event, as that guy gives you an end of round cash bonus, which is really helpful. Number 2, the Sun Temple gives you a 20% discount on all the towers you build in the range, which is going to save me a lot of money for a least cash event. And then finally, the Sun Temple gives some really important buffs to towers like increased damage, attack speed, range, which will be helpful for defenses. Since in specific, my plan for this least cash week is a Paragon-less strategy. We're just going to be using a bunch of strong 5th tiers to defend, as Paragons typically aren't great in these least cash events, since Paragons are expensive. Either way, we still are leaking. The engineer did not add enough, but I'm hoping, despite the leaks, I can just save for this monkey bank before anything else. Come on, get it? Yes, but I'm pretty sure I'm dead. Alright, let me redo this early game. I think I'm going to use a submarine instead of an engineer early. Just a quick little redo. We've made it back to round 18. The submarine start is definitely a lot more optimal for defending and greeting. Now, it is less optimal for sacrifices, which is why I initially did not want to do it. But either way, I should go forward my monkey bank here, start of round 19. And as for my next purchase here, I think we're going to get our hero next, which is Admiral Brickle. Now, if you guys have been seeing other people's videos on this boss event, that might come to a surprise for some of you, because most other people are using a Zeely. And a Zeely might honestly be better, but I think Admiral Brickle is going to be pretty dang solid here too. So I'm hoping it works out well. The only issue is that I've once again leaked a ton of lives before, so I might need to get another tower before I can get Admiral Brickle down. Yeah, it's definitely the case. We can go back to round 20 though. And what I'll do beforehand is just get that engineer back in here. Okay, I think we'll get Brickle down to round 23, hopefully. Come on. Right about here. There we go. But yeah, as I was saying, Brickle should be pretty solid, since one of the strongest towers I'll be utilizing that's not a Paragon is Destroyers. Destroyers do a surprisingly high amount of damage if you pair them with a ton of debuffs like the Cripple Moab, Super Brittle, all of that stuff. We've got basically a max cash out from the bank. We're going to collect you, upgrade Imaflone, and redeposit. And my overall plan with Imaflone is in a couple rounds here, we'll have a 12k collect from it, plus we'll have the ability off cooldown too, which will give me an additional 10k. And all that money can help fund a Monkeyopolis, which then in turn will be a sacrifice used for the Sun Temple. We do have the Imaflone ability off cooldown now. Oh, and there's camo balloons on this round. I don't think I have camo protection, even with the ability used. Yeah, I'm just gonna tank these. Alright, I'm down to 31 lives. Not necessarily comfortable, but I think we're gonna collect you now. And through that collection, I'm gonna get 3 discount villages. Then underneath triple discount, here's the plan. We're gonna collect the Imaflone and turn this into a Monkeyopolis. Let's go. Oh, I don't have enough money. Alright, let's wait one more round then. By waiting another round, we do have a max cash out from this guy now, so we're gonna do that. Same exact plan with Imaflone into Opolis. Okay, now what do I want to get up next? I think We'll go for a balloon trap next. Try to afford that as early as possible here. Oh, there's actually ceramics in round 35. Interesting. Let's use brickle ability. That should be able to clean up. Now, I think there's camos in round 36, which is a bit of a problem. What am I gonna do for these camos? I could maybe get like a cleansing foam. I'm looking through the towers trying to think of something, and I think that's the best play. So we'll do cleansing foam. But I got it too late. Okay, we're gonna try that again. Unfortunately, the foam can only be double discounted as well. We're not gonna be able to get triple discount on it. But we'll get it after this wave of pinks. Now. And it's actually targeted in this location. Because I think that'll decamo. Yeah, decamos the balloons for the trap, which is pretty cool. Alright, I like how our defense is looking. I just did the math, and all of my support towers combined have a sell value of 32,241. But what that means is I need to spend a couple more thousand on the support category to get the 50,000 mark, because I'm looking for a total sell value of 37,500 from the support category, since towers sell for 75% of their original value. So with all that being said, I'm gonna add a farm up here, and we'll turn this into a monkey bank. And there we go. Now I have 50,000 of support category with all of these support towers in the top. And I've made it to the tier 1 boss. So what's my plan here? My plan is simple. It is just ignore Dread Balloon. I'm not going to buy any defense to pop this guy until after I get the temple up. We're going to play it incredibly greedy. And I think this ignoring tactic will actually work because Dread Balloon is so unbelievably slow, especially if you're on the rock layer. But we'll see if it ends up playing out how I want. The trap will be working overtime to make me as much money as possible. I know I could have added something like a Rubber Gold Alchemist, by the way, to help the trap's income. However, the Rubber Gold's not from the support category, so it would hurt my overall least cash score, which is why I did not go for it. Either way, just a little bit of trap micro here and there, and I am going to have to deal with some Moabs, okay. So I think for this, we're going to target the trap maybe in this location. Let's see if that works out. Where we can pop the mob enough before it hits the trap. That does my targeting was actually perfect there. They call me Trap Targeter Mahalik. And bank is actually almost full now. I think we'll collect it one round early because it's going to overflow if I wait for this round to finish. So let's collect you now. I'm at 70k so far. In hindsight, it probably would have been smart to get one of these villages to jungle drums opposed to getting this random farm, because that would have buffed my trap's ability to get income. But it's fine. It's not like the end of the world. And I think I'll target the last trap in this location. That should be able to reach. Does it throw down in time? It does. Or we're fine. Good micro. But yeah, look at how little track length Dread Balloon has traveled in 12 rounds. That's what I'm talking about. This boss is so unbelievably slow if you don't do damage against it. It's faster on the non-rock layers. And this is the round where I'm going to be able to afford my temple. I'm just going to collect this bank now. I don't want to get the tempo till the end of the round, though, is the thing, because we can maximize our farm income by getting it late. All right, get you up. There we go. And there's an easy way for me to confirm if I got 50,000. So I'll show you it right away. And that way is by placing a sniper on strong, and it should do 4 damage per shot, which it's doing 3. Did I not get enough sacrifice? I think I'm actually fine on the sacrifices because Dread Balloon reduces the damage you deal by 1. That's the secret part about Dread Balloon a lot of people forget about. Okay, this is Editor Ryan speaking. I just want to quickly interject with something I said incorrectly here about the temple, and that is the reduction in damage against Dread Balloon only applies when Dread Balloon is not on the ceramic shield. So in this case, when my sniper was dealing 3 damage, it's just because I had the second to highest tier of support sacrifice. I actually did not get 50,000 like I thought. I definitely should have brought out the calc. But yeah, just keep that in mind as we progress through this video. What I do want to do, however, is get discount villages back in here. And now with triple discount on the field, we can focus on defending. So let's get a boat down, which will be built into a destroyer. I can also get jungle gems in one of these villages. I think this is going to be my jungle gems one. One other thing I'd like to add too is a support Chinook. Okay, we're on a military immunity now though, which is annoying. Well, actually the temple will deal all the damage. And look at this, our heli is stalling 1 random ceramic, which is huge. So we can just hopefully defend this boss entirely in round 55, which would keep things simple for me. And once I get through this military immunity, the rest of them should be easy with Destroyer and Brickle. Oh no, the temple's about to snipe the balloon. I need to push it back farther. Yep. Okay, so round 55 ended, unfortunately. Now we've got the Destroyer attacking. Oh, and we have camo balloons to deal with. That's a problem as well. Actually, it's not that much of a problem because we can just stall the camos. Either way, pretty simple tier 1 defense. And we did get our Destroyer triple discounted. I think I got my heli double discounted, so lost a little bit of money there, but that's fine. This heli is going to be really important for me Because one, it's going to allow me to triple discount every single tower and then Chinook it to its proper location. But then also I'm going to utilize like Super Brittle or Embrittlement later, and with the Heli I can Chinook the Embrittlement so it's always on top of the boss. Either way, tier 1 Dread Balloon has been defended, ladies and gentlemen. And we greeted for the temple first before my defense, which worked out nicely. Okay, what are we going to save for next? Well, first of all, it's not going to be a farming tower. We already have all the farming I need with the temple, and then we have a little bit of additional farming with the Heli too. But what we are going to save up for is an engineer, in specific, an Ultra Boost. Now, I know an Ultra Boost is pretty expensive, but if I get it early, I'm going to be able to get 10 stacks on basically all of my towers, which will be huge for us. An extra 66% attack speed on everything. With all that being said, we've made it to the tier 2 boss, and as for my plan for this tier, I think it's just going to be basically the same thing as last tier, but with a couple more destroyers. Before I get more boats down though, let's save for that Ultra Boost first. Lucky for me, I got a stolen around 62. There's some Camel Ceramics at the very end of this round. And actually, let's just overclock my destroyer while we're at it. And I think I can use the Brickle ability too, because the destroyer's projectiles aren't going to travel far enough to snipe the ceramics. All right, we've maxed out the Heli crates for this round, so we can end the round now. And also, we just passed the primary immunity, so military immunity is going to be a problem for my setup. Either way, we have enough money for the Ultra Boost now, and I can probably use some mines actually. Yeah, mines do skip the military immunity. The heroes don't count as an immunity type. But how am I going to get through this immunity is what I'm wondering. I can keep Ultra Boosting the temple. Maybe the temple itself will be strong enough. And one thing I actually do want to do for sure is add a reactor. We'll be going for an Energizer later, but getting the reactor early is nice. It will reduce the ability cooldowns of Brickle to help out more. Another mine now. That should clear out the rocks, yeah. The Brickle mines are very nice against Dread Balloon, I've got to say. Let's add another boat, one more destroyer under triple discount. We're gonna Chinook you. Can I put it in here? Yeah, I should be able to. There we go. Military immunity is about to be dead. One more Brickle mine. Yep, nice. And the rest of the immunities should go by relatively quickly with the destroyers attacking. Oh, round 67 is going to be an easy one for me to stall because of all the Camel Balloons. The Camel Ceramics came in just in time. How much? Okay, we have enough for the Energizer. Let's get that up. Reduced ability cooldowns are fantastic for us. Now, we don't have that much track length remaining, but the last immunity phase is going to be the easiest because the boats and the temple will both be attacking. So I think we'll be okay here. But yeah, the Energizer is going to be really helpful in multiple ways. First of all, it's going to allow me to get more Ultra Boost stacks off, which is always great. Next off, it reduces Brickle's ability cooldown by 40%. Because it helps water towers cooldowns by 40%. So that means I'm going to have a lot better uptime on like naval tactics than beforehand. And lastly, we're definitely going to be getting more ability cooldown towers later, such as glue strikes, probably a homeland defense, maybe cold to arms, all of that type of stuff. I think Energizer was a great pickup at the end of the day. Brickle ability again. Let's go with the mine. And that is the next tier of the boss dead. I won't end my stall yet though, because again, I just want to make sure we maximize our Ultra Boosts per round. So in round 67, after I've used the maximum of 10 Ultra Boost stacks this round. Okay, we've hit that point. Let's end the stall. Here's the next thing I'm going to buy though. Let's get this village into a primary mentoring, because I definitely want to utilize some primary towers like glue strikes, as I was saying. But here's the thing. There is a monkey knowledge, which is called the Come On Everyone monkey knowledge. I talk about it all the time in my videos. And that allows you to get a 5% discount on primary upgrades if all of your primary towers are tier 3 or tier 4. So with that being said, we currently have a tier 0 primary tower, which is this dart monkey, but I am going to upgrade this guy into a tier 4 super monkey fan club. And now the monkey knowledge is active. You can see the little icon. So with that monkey knowledge, let's get a glue right here into a glue strike. And as for the cross path thing, I'm gonna get the top cross path on it, which gives you +3 damage opposed to +2 with the bottom path. Now the top cross path does have bad uptime though, so to supplement the bad uptime, I'll need to get 2 glue strikes as 2 4-0s. And one other benefit of the glue is it does help my stall a little bit. If one of you guys is crazy enough, count how many times I say stall in this video, because I bet it's an insane amount. That is just one of the parts our strategy is relying on a lot here. Now, besides the glue strikes, we definitely want to get a cripple as well as another debuff, but I'm going to wait to get the sniper because there isn't any line of sight blockers on this map. So if I got the cripple mob right away, that would ruin my stalling capabilities. Fast forward to round 74, we have 3 destroyers now with 10 stacks, and I'm starting to stack on a 4th one. So Ultra Boost is already giving me some decent value. And I might be looking at my setup and thinking, okay, the destroyers are going to work out really well for the immunities that are not military, but what are you going to use for the military immunity? Well, for one, we're going to have a fan club, which is going to help out a little bit there, but it's not going to deal that much damage. The main thing we'll be utilizing is an engineer, and in specific, a Sentry Champion. A Sentry Champion works out really well when you have a bunch of debuffs, which I'm going to have, and when you have Homeland Defense too. Homeland Defense is the main buff you want on the Sentry Champion, since it buffs the Sentry Champion in multiple ways. Okay, we've got 10 stacks on the Sentry Champion now. I think we're going to add another tower into the mix, which will be my final primary tower. At least that's a high tier. And that is going to be an embrittlement, which will be a super brittle. And you can see here, super brittle is only 21k, when normally it'd be 28k. And that's because I'm getting a 20% discount for my Sun Temple and an additional 5% discount from that Monkey Knowledge, because the Monkey Knowledge applies to the first 5th tier of the primary category you buy. So let's get you up now. And I'm just gonna have it in the middle of the map, I guess. Here's the tier 3 defend, 650,000 HP. I don't think this defense is gonna be that difficult for us. I'm not gonna move my Sentry Champion at the front though, because it will be much easier for me to stall the rounds while Dread Balloon's on the screen, so we kind of want to wait before we pop Dread Balloon fully. Like you can see here, I've got a good stall going on round 80 with a couple balloons behind Dread Balloon. Now currently I have what, 6 destroyers? I don't know how many I want to go for in total. Maybe like 1 or 2 more. The thing is, there isn't that much water space on this map, unfortunately. And some of the water space is obviously in unoptimal locations as well. Like, I'm not going to keep these destroyers at the bottom the entire run. I'm just keeping them there at the moment to help stall it, to help my stall. And here's stock number 10, yep. So I think every single destroyer now has 10 Ultra Boost. What should I Ultra Boost next? Let's do Ultra Boosts on one final destroyer. I think this is going to be the last one I go for. And then after that, we'll Ultra Boost maybe on like Super Brittle or something. I don't know. Oh, one thing I should actually do at this point, which I'm going to be getting later anyways. Let's get a main Moab on last targeting. The reason why this is a good decision, we're also going to target this just away, but the reason why this is a good decision is because all these rounds at this point have blimps. It's no longer like balloon rounds, which means this is going to be a more effective stall than my support Chinook is. And it's a lot more hands-free as well. This is stock number 10 for this guy. We are going to have to start focusing on actually defending though. It does look a little bit scary that I haven't dealt that much damage yet, but I think we'll be fine. I think I actually do get more defense. Let's get this village into a Homeland defense. I knew I wanted Homeland anyways later. Let's go Homeland now with Brickle ability. And honestly, I can put some of these bolts in last targeting as well, because you get an extra 10% attack speed from a Monkey Knowledge by doing that. Come on, let's get through this primary immunity. I'm telling you, after we get through primary, the other immunities should go by quickly, because we'll have all the debuffs active. Let's go. Oh wait, but then military immunity, I forgot, all the boats are not attacking. So military immunity actually might take some time. Homeland defense though, we now have the Sentry Champion basically chunk down the military immunity, which is actually doing a very good job at that. Look at how fast we're popping this. Sentry Champion is goated, and the main mob stalling this round too. Fantastic stuff. Alright, there's military immunity dead. Magic immunity should be very quick. And then support's probably going to take a while once again, because support will be when the Sentry Champion's not attacking. Let's actually move this outside the range of everything now, just in the corner. Because I don't want it sniping balloons and ruining my stall. It's not going to deal damage anyways on the support immunity. Okay, pretty clean tier 3. I feel like we defended this in a good manner where I was able to maximize the Ultra Boost stacks for the most part. We got 6 stacks on this Super Monkey Fan Club now. Let's use Homeland Defense with Naval Tactics once again. And that should pretty much finish off the tier 3 defend. Now here's the thing, since I have a Super Monkey Fan Club, obviously I want 10 Dart Monkeys, or 9 Dart Monkeys with it to transform. And the nice part about it is, since I had that Monkey City Village early, I have a bunch of free Dart Monkeys. So I don't have to spend any money at all on these guys, since we can get free upgrades as well. We'll just make them all 011. Well, actually, it's so unbelievably cheap to upgrade these guys. Maybe I do want to spend like 200 to get very quick shots and extra range. We'll have every dart as 022. But yeah, that's going to be the thing we Ultra Boost next. Just trying to Ultra Boost all 10 of these darts, which I'm guessing we won't have time to get 10 Ultra Boosts on all of them, but I'll try my best. Now, even though we don't have every tower chinooked in its proper location, and I don't have Cripple Mob yet, I don't think tier 4 is still going to be that difficult. At least that's my hope. Just because it is significantly weaker than the tier 5 boss. But yeah, let's take it on. By the way, the reason I don't have an Embrittlement with Super Brittle is because they nerfed the Ice Monkey in the recent update where Embrittlements no longer stack, so that is quite unfortunate. Honestly, let's add the Cripple Moab here. The Cripple Moab is not going to really hurt my stun. Yeah, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Like with Cripple, our damage is so much better, especially on the primary phase, because we didn't have any debuffs active last time. And primary immunity is about to be dead. We'll use Glue Strike right away when we hit the military immunity. Basically just need the Sentry Champion to soul this immunity. Well, I guess we have the Fan Club available too, which will do a little bit of damage. Alright, Homeland again. We're almost through the military immunity. I'm gonna move. Let's see if I can get that 5th destroyer in here. I still don't think it's possible, but I'm really gonna aim for it. Try to move this one in the best spot I can. Maybe like there. After we get through this military immunity, magic's gonna be the fastest by far. Because magic, the only thing that's not attacking is my temple, which doesn't have any damage sacrifices on it. By the way, with your cripple mob, you want to keep it on first instead of strong, because look at this. If I put on strong, it targets the rocks over the boss, which is kind of weird. So first targeting is definitely what I'd recommend for you guys. All right, let's see if I can fit this. I don't think so. We'll have our final boat in this location then. Support immunity at the very end is going to take a little bit more time because the Sentry Champion can't attack, but all of our boats can attack and all of our debuffs are still active. How much damage is these boats doing? Oh, probably keep it on first, by the way. It's sometimes good to keep it on last, but not always. It might have honestly been a better use of my money to not get the Super Monkey Fan Club and just spend that money on more destroyers. My only concern with that is I feel like if I didn't have the Fan Club, it might take me too long to get through the military immunity. You know what I'm saying? So having a primary tower in there does help out a little bit with the weaknesses. We don't really need to use any abilities here. If I used Homeland Defense, that simply would make our stall do worse because it would increase the sniper's attack speed. So we'll just let Tier 4 go down. There you go. 471k spent so far. If we win with this score, what would that put me at? That would put me third, which would be really good. And if this is not enough defense, I can always add a coat of arms, which still keeps me below the 500k mark. Let me know in the comment section down below if you think Brickle is the best hero, by the way, because I did actually put a lot of thought into Brickle versus Azili. Obviously, there's benefits to both heroes. The advantage of Azili is her totem buff is basically permanent, and it could pretty much buff every tower on the screen with its range for plus, I think, 18% attack speed, and in addition to that, a little bit of extra range. Now, if you compare that to Brickle, Brickle's naval tactics buff is 100% extra attack speed on the boats, but only the boats. In addition to that, it has, I think, like 70% uptime with an Energizer, maybe 60% uptime. So pretty decent uptime. But obviously you don't get any range bonus and that type of stuff. Personally, I think the destroyers will be dealing the majority of the damage here, which means the 100% buff is most likely more impactful than Azili's buff, but I'm not sure. I feel like either hero could work out pretty well for this event. All right, guys, we made it to round 119. Boss comes out the next round. So soon here, we'll figure out if I have enough defense or not. I'm hoping I do, obviously. Now, before round 120 starts, we do want to Ultra Boost my Sentry Champ. This is going to be the main guy we'll be stacking Ultra Boosts on. The thing is, though, with the Ultra Boost, if you have Energizer paired with it, you can have 100% uptime on 2 targets. So I think also Ultra Boost a Destroyer back and forth with this guy. Either way, let's get it. We're going to start this off with a Homeland Defense and Brickle ability, of course. Let's go. Homeland. Wait until the bolts attack for Brickle now, and then I don't want to use Glue Strike, and I don't want to use Fan Club. Neither of those are going to do damage. Also, make sure to use Brickle's Mine. The Mine does a little bit of damage, not going to help out that much, but every amount does make some sort of a difference at the end of the day. Should I put these on last targeting? Maybe for now, at least in the early stages when the AI is not too strong. Don't think I need to Chinook anything yet. That's one of the main things I'm going to keep in mind of, trying to Chinook things at good timings. This defense is going to take forever. I'm gonna have to stay locked in for a long period of time. I had my coffee though this morning, guys, so I'm prepared for it. Primary immunity is going to be one of the ones that takes the longest though, because a lot of our debuffs are not active. This main mob in the back is going to be so clutch for me, by the way, because if I didn't have it stalling the rounds, we wouldn't be able to utilize the whole map to pop Dread Balloon. The rounds would just end too fast and I'd reach around 140. So definitely happy we got that main mob. I think that was a really good addition. Okay. We're breaking through the rock layer, that's good. Ultra Boost the Sentry Champion. Homeland Defense again. It's taking me longer to get through the primary immunity than I would have liked. I'll be honest. I feel like I'm not going to have enough damage here. Azealia might have been better than Brickle, or at least, I'm not sure. Yeah, there's actually just no way it's going to be enough damage. The boss is like almost halfway through the map now, I think. And we haven't even got through the first skull. Even if primary immunity is like our slowest, which I think it is, but pacing still probably not going to be here. Well, actually, military immunity might be the slowest. No boats are going to attack on military. I've got a feeling I'm going to have to spend money on multiple things, guys. Like, adding a coat of arms is probably not going to be enough, unfortunately, with how far I'm going to be off. We're going to see how far I'm off, though. Alright, let's go back to around 120. Now, I've got a feeling I'll have to add a permabrew, but here's what we're going to try first before permabrew. I'm going to get a coat of arms village, and then let's get a second fan club, and lastly upgrade these darts to triple shot, which increases their attack speed as well. And I think lastly I'm also going to add an Alk buff for my Sentry Champion. Just not a permabrew, just a 4th tier Alk buff. Stronger stimulate with middle cross path. Now the Alk buff doesn't have great uptime is the only thing, but I mean, it still helps. Every bit helps, you know? Okay, our additions definitely made a difference. Like, you can see we're quite a bit ahead on the damage compared to last time, but I feel like it's still not going to be enough. It looks like we are going to get through the military immunity, though, with these additions, which is something. And I was actually able to break through the rock layer of the magic immunity as well, so that's a W, I guess. But still going to lack quite a bit of damage for this attempt. Lag is picking up as well. When you have this many projectiles flying at once, the game gets laggy. That's just how it is. Another failed attempt, though, probably about 70% of the way there, maybe a little bit more. Okay, lucky for me, I did have a save on round 110, so we're gonna go back to this round, and I think we'll add a perma brew. Now, it does unfortunately put my score above 500k, but I definitely just need to spend a lot more money here. Now, you can see this attempt, I don't have a Cold Arms Village either. We can always add that if this is still not enough damage, but I'm hoping it is. Dude, the military immunity is still taking so long to get through. I don't know about this, guys. We just rely on the boats too much for our damage with this setup. Just pop the dang layer, guys, come on. The military immunity is so bad for us. Not having cripple and the boats attacking is awful. Finally, magic immunity. This is the fastest one. We have all the debuffs active. We have every single type of a tower attacking. I think I am going to have to add a coat of arms though, guys, with the perma brew, because support immunity is going to take a while as well, since only a couple of my boats will be able to attack for support. I can definitely see why people used Azili though. The majority of our damage is actually coming from the Sentry Champion. The Sentry Champion's out damaging all of my boats combined, even with me having Brickle. So having Azili to buff the Sentry Champion even more definitely would have been the play, I think. And then obviously Azili would buff all your other towers too. But I kind of was thinking the boats would deal more damage than they have. I mean, 3-4 million is not bad at all on these guys. It's just, this has 30 million, you know? Sentry Champion is just that cracked. Alright, we've made it to the support immunity. Now getting through the support immunity is definitely going to be easier with Brickle compared to Azili, because the destroyers are going to do better with Brickle. But the other 3 immunities, Azili would have been the play for sure. Let's just see how close I get though. Yeah, it looks like I get about 3/4 of the way through the rock layer before we die. Actually pretty close. I think a Cold Arms will definitely add enough damage. Now unfortunately adding a Cold Arms is going to put my score pretty far away from my goal. 536,000, man. I mean, it's still comfortably top 50 at least, but definitely not my proudest boss event.
One eternity later.
Okay, this is like take number 5 on the tier 5 defense, but I think we might finally finish this time. But yeah, if we finish here, we still have 539,000 as our score, which isn't my goal of sub 500k, but I still think it's respectable, and I'm probably one of the only people on the leaderboard who used Admiral Brickle, would be my guess. I'm pretty sure almost everyone else used Azili, which definitely would have been the better hero choice. Either way, let's put these on last targeting now, because the boss is the only thing they're attacking, so we're gonna get 10% extra attack speed. Naval Tactics, Homeland Defense, this is where we're gonna get really good damage. I think we should Chinook another dart here. I think just one more cycle of Homeland Defense and Naval Tactics when we'll have the end of this. The boats still have quite a bit more range to use as well. Fan Club, Homeland Defense, Overclock a boat, Naval Tactics, and just look at the damage. When we've got everything attacking at once, besides our Sentry Champion, the damage is still pretty dang significant. GG2 Dread Balloon. Now before we look at where I'm at on the leaderboard, I do want to check the pop counts of some things, just to get a feel for how my strategy actually played out. Also, might as well Chinook this to the front to end the stall. But yeah, Admiral Brickle, 5.3 million pops. Actually pretty solid. The Megamines did a lot. 28 million on the Sentry Champion, 2 million on the Super Monkey Fan Club, and these triple shots have like 700,000 apiece, some of them a little bit more. And then the boats, 3 million on these, and one of them's got 7 million, oh my gosh. Boats did pretty solid too. But even with the boats and the Sentry Champion out damaging quite a bit, I still think the Fan Club wasn't a bad addition just because of how cheap this was, since all the darts were free. Either way, let's check out on the leaderboard. That puts me 27th. Man, this is the lowest I've been on a leaderboard in a long time. I'll be back on the top next week though, don't you worry. And yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this week's boss event. If you did, please the like button, subscribe button, and make sure to use creator support code MAHALIKPOPS in the BT6 item shop. It's an easy way to support the channel. I'm out. Peace. Have a good one.